What's up, guys? It's your bro Taylor.
And your bro Ryan here. Today we're going to give you guys a little inside peek to Taylor's inner workings of his brain, how he thinks about investing, how he thinks about the future, and what he enjoys doing. So we're just going to interview Taylor today and hope you guys enjoy it. And also we're going to try and always introduce, like we always talk about, new things into the video. We love having fun with this, so I hope you guys enjoy it. We got this idea from JJ Buckner. He's another YouTuber in the financial YouTube stock investing kind of space, and he does beer reviews in different channels, and we really enjoyed it. So we're going to try and introduce you to this channel. Quick disclaimer, Taylor made sure to bring this up before. We are both over the age of 21, so we can legally drink.
Yeah.
And it even says so on the bottle here, 21 plus.
Not mine, but
But
hey,
yeah,
I know
yeah,
the
that's true.
rules.
This one is the one I'm drinking today is a Yingling Hershey's Porter. We'll see how this goes. I don't always drink beer, but when I do, I enjoy it. So you guys got that.
Yeah, and I'm actually drinking one that me and Ryan brewed ourselves. It's a strawberry milkshake IPA. We don't quite have a brewmaster name or yet, so maybe if you guys have any ideas, feel free to comment a brewmaster name. But yeah, this was made by us, strawberry milkshake IPA. I think it's pretty good.
So to kind of dive into it, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. Taylor, how about you go ahead and introduce yourself, a quick blurb, 1 minute elevator pitch of who you are.
Okay, guys, so like you guys already know, my name's Taylor Arnold. Graduated a couple years ago with a degree in mechatronics, which is basically just robotics. Not too many people are familiar with it. From Kennesaw State University. So I've been in the whole, classic 9-to-5 corporate world for a couple years now. Started off with an internship at Disney that got cut short by COVID. Came back, took another computer hardware engineering job. Now I'm working at a computer vision company. I do a lot of travel, installing and configuring computer vision systems. So, fairly interesting work, but it didn't take time or long at all for me and Ryan to both realize that, the whole corporate rat race, I guess you could call it, isn't really for us. We'd rather either work for ourselves or, retire early and, be able to travel and live life how we want to. That's kind of the goal here. One of the main reasons for this channel is, to reach and achieve financial freedom. So we've been studying investing in finance for a couple years now, and, really enjoying the journey, learning along with you guys, and hopefully you guys can get some stuff out of this that's super helpful for you guys as well.
So that's a little bit about Taylor's intro. We're going to jump into what does your current portfolio look like? Not just your stock portfolio, but you can explain a little bit about that.
Okay.
I guess what percentage of your portfolio is made up of stocks? That's a good way to put it as well. However you take that, what does your current portfolio look like?
So right now I'm pretty much on the common little apps, Robinhood, Webull. If you guys have seen our other videos, you guys already know that we're on Webull doing a stock investment competition. That's where you guys choose the stocks, but in my personal portfolio that I have a Robinhood. There are pros and cons to having Robinhood, but it's working pretty well for me. I've vested a few $1,000s already. That was back kind of when the pandemic was, I guess you could say, at its peak. So a lot of things were, way in the red. A lot of things are down. So I've made massive gains, which is very nice, up way more than you would normally see. And I'm not going to pretend to be some guru who knows everything about investing, but, going off some basic, simple metrics, you guys can kind of select some good stocks and everything. We'll discuss that stuff in future videos, but I've got a few $1,000s invested. That's going well. I'm up. So I also have a Roth with Fidelity. I can't even remember exactly how much I've invested in that. It's several $1,000s. It's actually bigger than my Robinhood. I'm mostly invested into stocks. There's a couple ETFs and REITs and everything, if you want to consider those different, that I've invested in as well. Mostly dividend paying stocks, but I have, a couple value stocks that for me personally, I couldn't really pass up on. I'd probably say I'm probably ballparking 85% stock, a little less than 10% crypto, and then probably 5-ish% or whatever's left over. I should have been doing math, in ETFs, at least in my Robinhood account. Then the NFT space, we'll make a video on that kind of topic later, but we've gotten into that space as well. We like to explore everything as well. So yeah, Robinhood's my main account. Fidelity, I have my Roth. I have a little bit invested in crypto, through Coinbase and then the NFTs as well. I also plan on at some point getting into real estate. I actually would have more invested if I wasn't planning on getting more into real estate. I have a good bit saved up right now for plans to invest in that. I have actually a real estate license, not active right now, but I still plan on getting in that space soon.
So this is kind of a 2 to 3 parter, okay, this question.
Okay.
What does financial independence mean to you? Part A. I can repeat them if you want.
Okay.
What's your plan or strategy to become financially independent? And what is your projected timeline?
So financial freedom, I guess one of the big things I pictured down the line. I want to be to a point where I can afford, anything that could be considered a liability, like a boat, a plane, everything that's paid for by assets. I want to be at a point where I don't have to work for somebody else. I'm just having my money work for me, and being at a point where I could retire early and everything. Being at the point where I can live comfortably and sustain a family, because I'd like to have a family in the future, comfortably without being restricted or being really worried about money. At least to the point of like, will I be able to pay these bills? I want my assets to be able to pay for my liabilities, which we've talked about in a previous video. But that is, in one of the truest senses, is what I consider financial freedom or financial independence, however you want to think about it.
Okay. And then, so you kind of hit part B then. What is your plan or strategy? You just said you want to gain enough assets that you can use those assets to pay for your liabilities.
Yeah.
Which, it definitely covers that.
Yeah, one of the quickest ways.
About that?
One of the quickest ways is real estate, but I plan on getting into, real estate and everything. Airbnb is a great avenue to make some serious money. I know people, or have seen people that, are retiring early off a couple properties. So
Yeah.
I've constantly been trying to, learn about that. That's one of the big reasons I got my license, is simply to know more in that space. But yeah, just creating more of those assets, like rental properties and everything it's one of the quicker ways that you can find and reliable ways to build wealth.
Yeah, definitely. That's exactly right. And the part C to that is your timeline.
I'm thinking like by 40, because I'd like to have a couple kids, and kids are expensive. There's no, lying about that. What I'm striving for is different from what I actually think I'm striving to, retire by early 30s, and, by 30 would be ideal. With some strong investments and everything. And I actually think I'm capable of doing that. Of course, you never know what life will throw at you with kids and everything. And who knows with the economy and yada, yada, how the world works. But
Yeah.
if I'm not financially free by 40, I'd be a bit disappointed. My goal would be early 30s.
Okay. We'll say 32 to be exact.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. So what is your big investment, the big thing that you're banking on for the next, say, in 10 years that's really going to make you a lot of money?
So the most, or I guess the next thing I'm looking to really invest in is real estate. I've got, a decent bit of money saved. I want a little bit more to be able to afford a decent down payment and everything. So that would be the next big investment, because, the housing market ain't cheap right now, guys. Everyone knows that, if you've looked at a house on Zillow or anything, it's crazy right now. Everything's crazy,
So anything
expensive.
specific, you looking to do multifamily? You looking to do single family? What you got?
So the couple ideas that first come to mind is based on my area and everything. There aren't too many like duplexes and everything where you can kind of do a house hack and everything. That'd be awesome if you could. But simply owning my own single family home, being a resident in that home, so I can, do the whole FHA and everything, and only have to pay or lower than a 20% down payment. I want to pay more than a 3.5%, but lower than that 20%, so I can get into a home, live there a couple years. I'm not opposed to having roommates, especially now that I'm still, not married and everything, don't have kids. So getting, just some roommates in there, helping pay with rent, and then just building from there. After that, I'd probably look more into maybe some locations where I could Airbnb a house, having a different location and a bit more populated or popular area, I guess you could, touristy kind of space.
So
So
one of your first spots is short-term rentals.
yeah, and
Okay.
one thing I'm excited about, it's not going to be quite as expensive, and or I don't expect to invest quite as much as I will in real estate, is NFTs. It's a super interesting concept, the way the world's going with crypto, the metaverse, NFTs. Frankly, if you look at it, they don't always make sense why, someone would pay like $1 million for a picture of a monkey. Some of these different NFTs
No
are
call outs or anything. No pointing fingers.
yeah, some of these NFTs, have actual utility and they're coming up with some great concepts. People are getting real creative in this space, so I'm very curious to see where it progresses and how it kind of moves forward. And I'll definitely be keeping an eye on that and probably investing more into it. Like we said, we're already a little bit in there, but that's one I'm actually very curious about.
All right. For the next one, what is a book that has really impacted you, book or podcast, that has really impacted your life and changed your way of thinking?
Okay. So one of the first books that I ever heard about for investing and everything was Rich Dad Poor Dad, and it's a great read and one I do recommend. One that kind of changed my perspective on everything, though, a little bit more, I think, is Be Obsessed or Be Average. There's, in particular, I think it was chapter 3, where he just asked some questions to kind of clarify what you want in life. And they really open your eyes. I recommend it a read as well, or, audiobook, however you want to do it. Very interesting to hear. Grant Cardone, he may not be for everyone. He's a very in-your-face kind of personality, very loud and everything, but he has some excellent points. And it was just in the chapter, you asked a lot of questions to kind of clarify what you wanted out of life, where you're going, and
Yeah.
everything. And I thought it was super interesting and definitely opened your eyes a little bit into kind of where you are and what you want to do and how you want to live your life. Because the career and job and how you make money and everything, that's a massive part of your life and plays a huge role in, your overall
Yeah.
quality of life and happiness.
All right. So besides investing, so outside of when we talk about investing, oh, I guess we can talk about it, but outside of you doing your own investing, what do you like to do?
Just in my free time, a lot of it's taken up by work. We do a lot of YouTube research and, editing, all sorts of stuff. This is a job, I guess you could say, but one we enjoy. So it's not really a burden. Uh, Frankly, I haven't been into video games in a little over a year, but used to be big into it. We used to be Fortnite guys and everything. That's kind of fizzled out just as we become more busy. We were good back in like season 1 or 2 when nobody else knew how to build, because we still don't know how to build.
Yes.
So,
Yes, agreed.
but that's kind of fizzled out. One we can actually talk about at some point is me, Ryan, and a couple other buddies. We actually owned a woodworking company at one point, or still own a woodworking company,
Yeah.
and we were pretty big into that. So that took up a bit of time and was actually super enjoyable for me. I actually enjoy woodworking and still do a little bit of it here and there. Just kind of that, constantly working, hands-on stuff is stuff I really enjoy. I like to be active. As you get older, it becomes a little bit more difficult to, play sports and everything because life gets busy and you'd have to find a
Older,
league.
23.
Yeah. But out of school, once you're out of school, it becomes a little bit more difficult. But, I like to go to the gym. Staying active, is just something I enjoy doing. So between work, YouTube, doing some little side hobbies and like woodworking and staying active and stuff, that would consume a majority of my time. But I also, enjoy going out with friends, having a beer once in a while, just because you gotta, have some fun here and there, else you'll kind of burn yourself out.
All right. My last and final question for you.
Let's hear it.
All right. I don't know if I like the wording on it, but you can take it as you
Okay.
want. All right. If you look 50 years into the future, okay, and you're giving advice or showing with some kind of action example your grandchildren, what lesson would you show them or teach them?
I feel like I would need to do a universal advice because who knows, we might all be living in the metaverse at that time. And, maybe they've already got like a crypto miner backpack. Who knows what the 50 years down the line will have. So I'll say work hard, do your research, and start now. Don't wait. I think the not waiting and not letting the fear stop you from doing things is the biggest piece of advice. Because who knows how the investing game will change within the next 50 years. But one thing that'll stay the same, at least in my mind, is, better now than later. The power of compounding, I don't see that really changing. So, yeah, just sooner the better. Just teaching them the lessons young, I guess you would say, not waiting to teach them all the lessons that I would kind of have, or the advice I would have.
That's all I got for you. That was cool. I really enjoyed that. I want to. I don't know if we'll do a spinoff channel at all, but I want to do more interviews. I think these are really fun. I think you and I can gain a lot from that, and the viewers can gain a lot from that. And you and me compounding or coming together to interview people is a really cool idea.
Force.
So,
not
be like
tag Elon Musk. If I could sit down and have a beer with Elon Musk, honestly, don't know if I'd be able to come up with a question. I feel like I'd just be in shock.
Yeah.
But hey,
that is one of the most interesting people I would love to talk to.
For sure.
And one of the most, definitely our marketing genius.
The way his mind works, fascinating.
Well, I hope you guys appreciated this. And the only thing we're going to end this episode with is our beer review.
Oh, yes.
So, still drinking the Yingling Hershey's Porter. I guess if I gave this out of a 10 score, I'd probably give it like a 7.5. Solid beer. I wouldn't just sit here and drink this all day, but I do like it. And a lot of beers claim they have chocolate in them, and I hardly ever taste it. This one actually tastes chocolate.
There you go.
I definitely do like this one.
You don't find that in all of them. So this one, the Strawberry Milkshake IPA that we made, I'll give it an honest, unbiased review. It's like maybe a 6 or 7, not one I would down constantly, but I think it has good flavors. I'm not the biggest IPA guy myself because at some point it gets too hoppy. I don't think this one's too hoppy. It became slightly overcarbonated because we let it just sit at room temperature for a little too long. I might add a hint more vanilla next time. It still has a pretty smooth feel to it, which is nice. Maybe just a little extra carbonation from what I would, prefer. But still, good beer. I like it.
I'm hearing mostly pros for a 6.
Yeah, right? So, yeah, if you guys can come up with some great brewmaster names, who knows what we'll do. Maybe we'll make another one someday. All right, but thanks for tuning in, guys.
All right.
Keep an eye out for Ryan's interview. I'll be interviewing him in a video we'll probably post the next day whenever we post this one. So just keep an eye out for that, and thanks for tuning in. Be sure to leave a comment of any topics you want us to cover. We're going to, be getting to some more content. We've been doing a lot of the stock investment competition, but we're going to get into some more of that content like we were when we first started this channel. So just keep an eye out for that. Be sure to like and subscribe. We just want to grow this channel as quickly as possible to, we all learn from each other. It's like a community that we'd like to foster here. So, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.